Oh, what it do? What a freaking week this week, man. I got the haircut for real. It's been over a year and a half. I've grown out my hair. I've had long hair. Literally, it was so long. You guys have seen it. Put up in a bun. I said, I'm tired of it. Give me that cut. Get me back to square one. So with all that being said, right, like that was the most important thing. You guys have to know, I fully planned. I got my hat yesterday. Appreciate that so much, Brandon. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's what a blessing that is. Like, I can't believe that you guys have no idea. Like, me and Brandon put in some serious work behind the scenes. So we've been making videos late into the night, and we spend our time making videos for you guys there. So you guys will see that stuff. Our channel is gonna have a lot of really good content. I'm genuinely like so excited for what that channel is going to bring to you guys. So I do have something for you guys that I was going to plan on wearing. Okay, hold on, slow it down. Hey Anna, got the ice cold hat. Now, once I got the haircut this morning, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let this thing breathe. Yes, Christina, it's gone. The hair is back to the old times for me. I have not had this short hair in a fat minute, but that long hair was getting crazy for me. We got the ice cold hat, baby. Ice cold hat. So I was gonna wear this. We'll do that in another stream. It's time to let my head breathe, and we're gonna get to it. So you guys know we are in the middle. We have now had to, yes, no more man bun. Hey Linda, Miss Woozy, yeah, no more man bun. We got rid of it. It's gone. We did it for a long time. So we had to get a little fade. It's going to grow out, but I don't know if I'll go long for a while. Anyways, enough about my hair. Appreciate you guys for the love. But with that being said, you guys know we have been doing this whole trial. We're still in the middle of Zulema's testimony, and she has another, I think, hour left on ours, and then another hour after. So it's a very, very long one. We are going to finish that today, and then we're going to keep pushing through this. We're going to go through. I think we have a lot to finish here quickly. We have to start Chad's as well. And so I'm trying to keep pace, but we do have 4th of July tomorrow, right? So we're not going to do it tomorrow. We're not going to have a live. I want us to all just go spend our time with our family and our friends. And we're not going to spend that time. That's, a good family fun day and do that. So with all that being said, let's get started. Got the big old marshmallows. Kelsey worked really hard on a video that I can't wait to show you guys. So we'll get that up for you guys as well after this. But let's get to it, baby. It's nice to not have a hat on for once. Yeah, happy 4th, early 4th to you guys. We're gonna get it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna be grateful, man. We have a beautiful country. It's not perfect, but it's beautiful, and we have a lot of freedom and a lot of amazing things in this country to be proud of. And on top of it, I'm a big believer in honoring the people who have sacrificed for this country, who have protected us, who have put their lives on the line. And that goes for all the service members. So I have a really, really soft spot in my heart for people who have served in any capacity. I really, really love those people. So I know it's not Veterans Day or anything like that, but to have a country like this, people have to stand up for what they believe in, and they have to be willing to fight for it. And that's huge that we have people who are so believing of what we stand for in freedom that they would fight for it. So yeah, man. And we got our people who are overseas. So I love it, man. I love all of our people from all over the world. We have a beautiful, beautiful community. All right, so let's jump right back into where Zulema left off, and we'll just keep it moving, man. It's a long one. Like I said, look, we have, another hour and 30 on this one and an hour after that. So yes, the hair has been cut. I didn't want to really make it that big of a deal, but I'm happy about it. I needed a change after growing it out for so long. All right, guys, let's get back into it.
Now, eventually, you heard.
Anybody feels like it right now, And this is just to keep it lighthearted, not making fun of anybody. But if anybody feels like it, let's see if you can make an count in this video. If anybody is willing to keep track of it, I would very much appreciate knowing how many are just happening in this next little hour.
That Tammy had actually died, right?
Correct.
And you told us that Melanie Gibbet called you, correct?
Correct.
All right. Let's move on and ask, after you learned that Tammy died, did you talk to Lori about that situation with
Welcome,
her and
Amber.
Chad? Now that Tammy's gone, what did Lori say was going to happen?
Well, she said that
Good to see you.
Chad and her had received instructions and visitations from angels that had come and taught them how to cast out demons, and now they knew how to do it. And that is the reason why Tammy had passed away, because they were able to finally learn how to do casting of a demon.
So this is a number one red flag, I will tell you right now. If someone constantly tells you that they're having spiritual experiences that no one else is around for, there's no witnesses, and even if there's someone who's willing to lie as a witness, it's very unfortunate it would happen. It's very crazy that, people will come in around and say, I've had this, this person, this angel, this thing came to me and did this, right?
What did she say about her and Chad's future together?
Guys, come on. How do you know? You are all keeping track, man. It's a lot.
Well, at first, she said that Chad and her were saying that they were going to be in Rexburg, and that's where they were going to be building Zion, and that this was going to be a place of refuge. And then all of a sudden they said that they were going to be.
I'm sorry. At this point, I need to learn to do this before. Here's our captions. And right now we're at playback speed normal. Let's jump that up to one
Going somewhere else.
Did she say in the few days after Tammy died, did she say where Chad was going to be living?
Yes, she said that the day after the funeral, Chad was going to be moving into her apartment.
I guess personally, what I would say to you to answer that, I don't know why it went. The reality for me simply is that when God speaks to you, there's more that comes around with it. God's very, I don't want to say the word obvious, but you have to check yourself with the Bible, number one. And number two, you usually get some type of peace or signs. Like usually the goal as a believer, as a Christian, your goal should be to check the feelings, make sure you're not just thinking of it yourself. Try to make sure that you're not just taking the first thing that pops into your head. And God's very faithful, and I do believe that he'll show you that he's speaking to you. So it's very different than just a voice. There's definitely thoughts you get in your head and you're like, I don't know if that's God. Just be honest with it. Like, is this my thought or not? Oh boy, I'm catching the bug.
What's your reaction, and did you say anything?
I did. Isn't that a little too fast when there should be some time for grieving?
And what did she say?
Nothing.
So you mentioned that she and Chad had been talking about everybody kind of creating Zion in Rexburg. Did they tell you, that things changed, or that they were leaving and going somewhere else?
They didn't say anything. They just left.
And then you learned they got married in Hawaii.
I'll go look for a brief.
Okay. Did there come a point where they came back from Hawaii and visited you in Phoenix?
Yes, on the way back from Hawaii, they had a layover in Phoenix, and they were staying at a hotel in Gilbert, close to my house, and they asked me to come and see them at their hotel, and they asked me to go have dinner with them and then drop them off at the airport.
Okay. And did you do that?
Yes.
Okay. During that dinner, did you ask about either Tylee or JJ?
I asked
I think the right now is coming from a place of like a yawn. I really believe it. Like it's just contagious because you're hearing it and subconsciously you're digesting how many times that has been said. So I think it's just it's circulating back and forth. Kind of like if I yawned right now, I bet all of you would just start yawning.
Where was JJ and who was taking care of him if they were in Hawaii?
And what
Right.
did they tell you?
She told me that JJ was with Kay and that she had given him to her.
Now, did there come a point, and I don't think I've asked you this, so I apologize. What day did you marry Alex Cox?
December 1st.
Oh wow.
And did there come a point before you married Alex Cox that you got a call from Melanie Gibb? Or was it after you married Alex that you got a call from Melanie Gibb about Chad and Lori's teaching?
I know. I almost yawned when I said it too.
Okay. And so for context, what did Melanie Gibb say to you?
Yes. How in the world can I trigger us by saying the word yawn? That's so funny.
She was very upset.
My body's trying to yawn right
She
now. I'm
said
not doing it.
she felt that she was very emotional. She was very upset. She said that she felt that JJ and Tylee were missing, and she didn't know what had happened to them, and she felt that we had been deceived by Chad and Lori, and that they were asking her to lie for them, and she felt that they were doing something wrong.
Did I kiss you guys?
So what was your reaction to that conversation?
I'm gonna take some notes sometimes too, man.
Utter confusion. I was confused. I didn't know what to think or how to process that information. To hear my friend saying that all of this was happening, and then at the same time knowing how much.
So one thing that's actually kind of funny, that's just I guess cute, is Tylee said like a lot to fill her sentences, and I remember we had a long conversation, and I picked it up same exact way and started saying like every time. I'm always like, and this like, it's just like sentence fillers that you just don't realize you're doing. Yeah, but it's a lot, guys. It's a lot of ums. It's not to be rude. It's just a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Trust I had put into these two people. It was very, very confusing, and I was very distraught and confused.
And did you turn to Alex, who you were married to at this time, and ask him about it?
I did.
What did he say?
He was very quiet, not himself, not his usual self. I asked him, how can Kay be looking for JJ when JJ is supposed to be with her? How can the person that's taking care of him be looking for him? And
what did he say to you?
He said, I know. And
did you ask him more about it?
He just didn't answer me. I'm sorry. I'm just being distracted.
That's okay. You okay?
I was just distracted by what's happening at the back of the room.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. It happens. Okay. So you were talking to Alex about the call you'd gotten from Melanie Gibb, right? And did he say anything about Tylee missing? Did you ask him about that?
No.
Okay. At some point, did you learn that the police were looking for JJ, Tylee, Lori, and Chad?
None until after Alex had died.
Okay. So let's do this. So what day did Alex pass away?
December 12th.
Okay. Had you received information about anything going on in Rexburg, or actually?
Hey guys, I'm not even gonna lie to you. It almost feels unfair to ask you to do this at this point because it is filled. I really do wonder if AI could tell us if we gave it this video, if AI, oh, you know what they do? I forgot. YouTube rolled out a new thing to summarize the videos. I wonder if there's a way to get the transcript and literally see how many have been said in this entire, this is 3 hours and 30 minutes. This is a long time.
In Utah, the day before Alex passed away.
I had a very long day at work, and I came home probably around 7:30 p.m. And when I came into my bedroom, Alex was on the phone with Chad and Lori, and they were telling him that Tammy's body was being exhumed on that day. That was December 11th.
Okay. And were you present in the room with him while he was on the phone with Chad and Lori?
Yes.
Okay. Could you did you ask him about that conversation?
Hey, so
After
if
they
Lori
were-
wants to say that Tammy died of natural causes, why are you calling Alex to tell him that her body's being exhumed? What's scary about that if she died of natural causes?
After they were done
Obviously, I know I'm pointing out the obvious, but it's just to give it's helping me build context here.
talking, after they hung up, yeah.
Okay. What did you ask him about?
I was very confused about the reason why they would be exhuming Tammy's body. And I was asking him, why would they be exhuming her body if she had died of natural causes? Or
She just said it.
and I asked him if he was involved in anything that to do with Tammy's death.
And then what did he say?
He said no.
Okay. Did you ask him anything else?
Yes, I kept pressuring him.
Yeah, exactly. It's just,
And then what?
Things were very, very weird.
it's honestly, it is different now that we have so much context to the future. So many gaps filled, at least because I've never listened to this. So this is showing me a lot more. And then, I'm not saying, I'm just going to put this out there. I'm not saying I'm ever going to interview Lori again, but if I were to confront her, a sit down with Lori would be something this simple. I would just, it would be a mirror. And I know it wouldn't matter. She wouldn't care, but exactly, like in her thing, she just told Nate point blank, no one's a victim. No one's a victim. And that's just the most ridiculous thing. Yeah, to blame a victim is the most saddest thing. Tylee was a victim 3 times by blaming her lawyer, re-victimized by visiting your child's trauma. Exactly. It's what she does. And the really interesting thing is, I think that to have Nate confront her and say, are you a victim? And she goes, oh, I'm not saying that. She didn't say no. She said, I'm not saying that. She 100% is victimizing herself. She thinks she's suffering, but then it's good suffering, right? It's God's suffering. It's really crazy. But just, the whole Zulema has given some key highlights here. And I want to go over them real quick. I haven't even written them down, but I just remember that Zulema talked about Alex having this transformation from being a newborn, okay, Twilight reference, newborn on this earth, first time around the bend, because I guess he's coming back at some point. And if I ever see him and he comes back, it's going to be a bad day for him, okay? It's going to be a bad day for Alex if he ever comes back. With that being said, she brought up some context here. She brought up that during that meeting that Alex called Lori and she started going off on him, saying he's an idiot and all this stuff, can't do anything right. Zulema's provided some context with Melanie Gibb. Zulema's provided context now again with the phone call. And I don't know if she was having those red flags. Maybe Zulema was more believing of everything, but I just want to know, like, is she just backtracking so she doesn't look like she was a part of it? I don't know yet. I'm trying to figure that out.
At this time, they just seemed that there was so much going on and
Hey, Maria.
so just so weird and so bizarre. And I started pressuring him for information. So I told him, I said, what is going on? What is happening? How come they are not here? You don't even know where they're at. We don't even know where they're at now.
When you say they, who are you talking about?
Lori and Chad. We don't know where Lori and Chad are at. What is happening?
And what reaction did he have? Ultimately, what did he say?
He was very quiet and unresponsive. And then he said, I think I'm being their fall guy.
Oh my gosh. How did you not know that though? Like you can't be that dumb. You were. If you were sent out there by yourself to do these acts, what did you think that was in the moment? We can't really sit here and say that's not an obvious thing if you were literally the one doing the stuff by yourself. If you were sent, and I hate to bring this up in a it's going to sound insensitive, and I want you to know I'm not being insensitive, but if you were sent after Brandon, if you were sent after Tammy, if you did that to the kids, how could you not know if you're the single only one in that entire group that's physically doing it? We don't know that for a fact, but even if you were one of the main people who did it every time, that has to be the absolute. It's never going to make any sense. Yeah, and they were, but you got to be able to just by actions. You got to watch actions.
And what did you say?
I said, fall guy for what? What is it that you have done? What have you done that you would be the fall guy for? So it was like I kept pressuring him, and I was so frustrated because he wasn't answering me. So I would walk away, and he would say something, and then I would come back, and then I would pressure him again, and then he said, one of the times when I was walking away from him, he said, Zulema, either I am a man of God or I am not.
Wow, dude. Holy crap. So I'm wondering, did he have any remorse, or was he just pissed because now they turn their back on him? He goes, I do all this for you and you turn your back on me. So does he have any regret or remorse what he did? I don't think so. Personally, I don't think he freaking cared. I think he was just mad because they turned their back on him, and he goes, oh, I'm their fall guy. Oh, now they don't like me. I'm the problem. Had nothing to do with the kids, had nothing to do with Tammy, had nothing to do with Charles, had nothing to do with Brandon.
And then Alex passed away the next day?
He passed away the next day.
Zero.
Now, I have some additional questions, but let's talk a little bit. You had mentioned earlier about journal, correct? And some drawings that you had from Lori or that you gave to law enforcement?
Yes, correct. I keep a journal all the time.
Okay. Your Honor, may the witness be handed State's Exhibit 54?
Yes.
Okay. Now, defense counsel has a copy of all of this, but I'm not sure he's seen the envelope. Oh, actually, he did see the envelope. But
I like to see it right now. Smith, I don't know if I have a court copy.
no, it's the actual exhibit,
No.
Judge. But we can, if the court wants copies of the physical exhibits, we can certainly do that.
No, I'll take if it's documents, I prefer that, but I'll take a look
Okay.
at it first before it's handed to the witness, please.
Yes, sir. And for the future reference, if it's a document that's in evidence, you want a copy?
I would appreciate that. Yes.
Sure, we'll have you do that.
That is a very good point. That could easily be the case. I think I can hear Lori talking. I don't want to hear papers.
Yeah, these are all the pages from my.
I'm sorry, what
These
are those?
These are all the pages. Not all of them, but the pages from my journal.
That you referenced showing and giving to law enforcement?
Correct.
And are they true and accurate copies of the pages of your journal that you've referenced in your testimony today?
Yes.
Okay. Move for the admission of State's Exhibit 54, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Exhibit 54 will be admitted.
Permission to publish to the jury, Judge?
Good point.
Thank you.
Timeline wise, it makes no sense. And I'm just going to sound really objective here, but just from a curiosity standpoint, how could they have killed him that fast if they weren't even around? Right? Like maybe it's just I think honestly, if Tammy was exhumed, he knows they're turning their back on him. He knows that they're doing these things. It's a very, very good, it's a good indicator and guess that he had two things happened. Actually, three options. Number one, Alex did it to himself. Be weird, but it's possible. It made the most logical sense. Number two, somebody did it to him. I don't know how that would work. Maybe, I don't know if he was poisoned. I don't know if you can poison someone to have I don't know his symptoms. I've never looked at his autopsy. That stuff's a little too much. By the way, thank you for your chat. I like being here with our group, and we learn a lot. So blood clots in both lungs. I don't know what kind of medical case that is. I'm not a medical professional, I couldn't speculate on what happened there. There's two other options. He died from grief and maybe just the pressure of all of that stress literally over circuited his body. And then the last option, and still an option in my opinion, is that God was like, you're done. So I think his body gave out because what he was living with. I think his body gave out. Though my honest thoughts are that Alex took his own life, or his body failed because of the what he had done. Zulema was only mostly honest because she was given immunity. Melanie Gibb was not, which is why she was so very evasive. Wow. Yeah, Melanie Gibb had no care in the world. Did not care about Tyler or JJ. Couldn't care less. And, Zulema is different for that. And even if she got this immunity, whatever the case is, I don't know that for a fact, but I'll trust you on that one. I'll tell you that, it really comes from a place of, I think that Melanie only did that for whatever reason and was not the one who really cared until something happened to her. So until they betrayed her, it's very interesting in this group. Lori and Chad keep betraying the people around them, and they kept changing their way, right? That's just how it goes. But Melanie did not care. Yes, Gibb. Melanie Gibb did not care at all. Chad and Lori didn't care. I don't know if Alex cared until they got turned on by Chad and Lori.
Okay. Now, ma'am, States Exhibit 54 has multiple pages in this document, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let's start with the front page, which is a yellow sheet of paper with some drawings on it. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is that?
This is a diagram.
It's so weird. It's like listening to a book. The fact that we can't ever see anything. And again, there's a lot of things I don't want to see with my own eyes, to be honest. But some of these things, like, it's hard that somebody has to describe something.
What is it of?
This is a diagram of multiplications and multiple
True.
worlds that
That's
one person can come to.
And is this a diagram based on teachings given to you by Lori?
Yes,
Okay.
Lori and Chad.
And so what is on, for me, it is on the
It's possible.
left side of the paper.
We have to
what are
remember,
those?
and again, I try to bring this up, but there are levels, right? So, like, I'm taking notes. So I'll give you a diagram because I'm a very visual person. You have to understand that, if I don't know if I can do this backwards, Chad and Lori are here as equals, and then they just go down, and it's, Alex's second tier, and then there's the believers on this level. I hope I didn't draw something dirty. Good, I didn't. That's how I look at it. So that's Chad and Lori, Alex, and then the other believers, and then it could go further down depending on what level you believed. Chad and Lori, obviously, though, along with Alex, are pretty much up there. I think Alex, though, you have to see from a manipulation standpoint. I do truly believe that Alex was a tier below them because they were able to tell him what to go do. I don't think Alex was thinking these thoughts up in his brain. I think Alex just said, "Oh, I'm this thing, I'm this protector, this warrior, this whatever," and believed his role. And then when they turned on him, he probably lost it. So I do believe he was a tier below.
Words in that drawing.
So those are creations, or those are five worlds that were created, and each one of them there is a Satan and a Savior.
I have a bone to pick with this idea, just with the depiction of God and Satan. Let's just be very clear. God's still above Satan. It's actually in the book of Job, on of all places. It's very clear that there is no equal to God, right? So, like, there's no like as far as the devil and God, it's not like they're going head to head. It's not like there's a competition there. Satan's allowed to have a certain power, and again, that's not something that I'm going to try to get into because I'll never understand it myself fully. I understand it for the concept, what it is. I don't try to argue with God stuff, right? but God's here and everything else is here, right? So you have, Jesus, Holy Spirit, and God here, and then everything below that. But I think it is an interesting thing that we have this idea, probably from pop culture, that the devil is like the opposite rival of God. That's not true at all. I think Alex had a heart attack on the toilet when he learned that Tammy was being exhumed. That's possible. I mean, again, you have to understand doing that stuff, okay? And in no way, shape, or form do I sympathize for Alex. I'm never going to. I'm sorry, I just don't. I think he had full knowledge what he was doing was wrong. But I do think that you can't do that stuff without a toll. You don't just do what Alex and Chad and Lori did to all those people and never feel anything. It doesn't matter how heartless or how psychotic you are. There's going to be some kind of physical reaction.
Each one of those worlds or creations were done separately, and the fifth creation or the fifth world is the earth, which is the lowest and the darkest world. This depicts what Lori and Chad said that I had lived. According to them, I had lived 5 times on the third creation, 4 times in the fourth creation, and 4 times in the fifth creation.
Yes.
On the side, on the bottom, it says limbo. And this is where Lori and Chad taught that the spirits who had been pushed out by if a person dies, there is a 2-minute window in which a demon can take over that body. And
come on, bro. Where are they getting this stuff from? The sticky notes, they're making this up literally. Do you know how much time it would take? Do you know how much time it would take to make up the lore of this? This is seriously deep lore. Who thinks this and preaches it? I need to just continue to explain to you guys. You know this, but just to give us all context, you have somebody thinking of time frames, multiple lives, multiple marriages in those lives, multiple kids, genealogy, missions, all that stuff, bro. It's getting to a point where you have to realize how much time must have been spent on making things up. It's actually insane. It's actually insane how much time was made in this false realm, and wild stuff, man.
Inhabited.
Thanks, Tom.
And such as what they were saying that had happened to Charles and had happened to Tammy. And the original spirit of that person goes into limbo. It doesn't move anywhere. It can't go anywhere. It's just in limbo because it's waiting for the body to be put to rest.
Okay, so you guys know I'm not LDS anymore. I grew up LDS. To even say this is, if these people were LDS, this is not, a lot of the stuff that they're saying is not LDS base, at least as far as lore for LDS. What I will say though is it's crazy because this goes back to this point of, even if you were a practicing, believing LDS member in that church, you should be able to just check that, right? That it just goes against everything that they're even learning in their own church. So I don't understand how they fell for it this badly. Yes. Read your Bible, man. Read your Bible. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, I'm a non-denominational Christian now. I think there is a kind of a misconception there. I'm not going to try to get into this whole debate here, but I think there's a misconception of everyone is just Christian across the board. There's differences, and there's big, belief system differences between LDS to Christian. I think even for Catholic, I don't know too much about that, but there are some fundamental things that are really big things that I think that go back. But the point being, let's just stay in our realm. As an LDS person, you should know better. If you've been to church in your 40s, 50s, you should know better, because this doesn't go with your church at all. A lot of it is definitely, there's a lot of seeds from the LDS church and their belief system, but a lot of the other stuff really doesn't coincide. So it always makes me wonder how they were able to get to this point. And I can honestly tell you right now, if you throw out all religion, you throw out the practicing church, and you just read your Bible, nothing in that Bible would ever teach you this stuff, ever. So it's crazy how a religious cult can become this way, branching off from another religion. And you start with that I want to do this thing that the LDS people do. I want to give you this blessing because LDS people give each other blessings. I want to give you a patriarchal blessing, which I need to have you understand the hierarchy of the LDS church. You can't just give a patriarchal blessing. That's like a very specific thing in the LDS church. They have a whole person whose whole job is to do that. So I'm just giving you guys more context here with this whole thing because exactly. Thank you. And this is where I've come to understand and believe Jesus as a person. It's about understanding who Jesus is and a personal relationship with God. That's what Christianity really is. It's following Jesus Christ. There's nothing wrong with building a church where you get together and worship. But that's a whole nother debate for another time of people's beliefs. I don't really, all I'll say is this. You go back to this point, this cult was formed off of that, but a lot of the stuff that they did broke LDS lore, right? So you have to understand they were practicing in this church and they were so loyal to this church, but it broke the rules of their own religion. So the red flag should have been there. And this whole higher, darker level lights, asking, about the cheating, about obviously the killing, like there's so many red flags. So to believe it all is always going to baffle me. To believe it all. Yes. Religious cults are very different than other cults. Other cults have whatever they bring you in on, it's always levels. And think about it like a real cult. I'll go back to this. That's a great point to use for the cults, okay? You start here, and those cult leaders are here, but they want to bring you up through the rank to become higher in that cult. And the more that you climb the cult, these people bring you to these new levels, and you do worse and worse things, and you get deeper and deeper and deeper. That's basically what a cult is. You're following a human being. You're not following God. You're following a human being's leadership. You're allowing them to tell you what you should believe. You're allowed, especially in religion, the problem that you have is in religion, you're not just supposed to surrender your belief system and have no conviction, right? You can't be a sheep. You cannot be a follower and be a believer. It goes, you have to learn what is my base? What do I believe? What do I know about myself? What do I know about God? What do I know about these things? And that way you actually have something to fall back on. If someone comes to you and says, hey, I'm going to give you a patriarchal blessing. If you're an LDS person, your red flag should go right up. If you're a Christian and they say, hey, we're going to go do all these things that break God's laws, you should be a red flag. You should be like, hey, but that's usually how a cult is they lure like a fish. They get you closer, closer, closer. And then they start to present you with things, but it's your job to decide to do it or not.
So let me ask you, so when a person's spirit is pushed out of their body and the evil spirit gets into their body, the person's spirit goes to limbo.
Correct.
So for Charles, his spirit was put into limbo, according to Chad and Lori.
Correct.
And again, did Alex Cox believe this?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you put that back to source one?
Sure. Is there anything else of relevance on it?
Yes.
Again, can we go back to some other lore real quick? I don't want to keep pausing it because we got a lot to get through. But really just remember that these are broken people. These are very broken people, very self-hating people, probably very deeply misguided, no identity type of people who needed to feel special and who needed to tell themselves they were special and needed to believe that their life wasn't as bad and boring. And what it is, it's an unaccountability to, I built my life and I'm not happy. And again, that's where Lori comes in. We have this conversation all the time, guys. Lori had everything a human could really want in a way, right? Like she had a family, she had a husband who loved her, who provided for her, let her decide where they were going to move, let her come in and go move to Hawaii and live her dreams and be completely taken care of, have no real responsibilities in life and get to be with your family all the time. So with all that point being and all those things being said, you have to understand that these people still had some serious brokenness that led them down these paths to believe that they were so special. It's really evil, but they really needed somebody to say, hey, your life sucks because you're so special. You're so special that the devil came at you so hard. And it's like, no, just take accountability for the fact that your life was a certain way and you're in charge and you should have made better choices, but you could start now. It's never too late. Start now. Make better choices now. Go build a life that you want now. They couldn't do that. So they had to pretend that they were in this fantasy world and somehow ended up taking the lives of all these people. How do you take the lives of your own family members? How do you get to that point? How can you possibly take the life of your own family At that point, you're cold. There's nothing worse. I don't even think some of the most evil human beings in the world would go after their own family members. A lot of times they go after other people. So when you get past that point, you're the most, in my opinion, people who can take their own family members' lives are more dangerous than any other human on this planet, because there is nobody off your table, nobody off limits.
It says a brother of Heavenly Father in Jesus.
Yes.
Chad had claimed that in another of those creations, he had been the brother of Heavenly Father in Jesus, and in another creation, he had been the Holy Ghost.
And if such things were true
Oh, no.
within the circle of people around Chad and Lori, would that have given Chad authority and power?
Oh, absolutely. He would have
All he
been
wanted.
spiritually the highest of anybody that we would know.
And where was Lori's rankings in all of this?
Well, he had chosen her to be his wife,
Yes.
so, and they had already been married 7 times before on this earth, and they had actually been in other worlds together also.
It is.
So they had been married and exalted together in other worlds. So then that was his companion, therefore put her in the same spiritual standing as he would.
And did Alex believe all that?
Absolutely.
Damn, dude. That's crazy, man.
Now, with that document is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yep.
7, 8,
You gotta be careful,
Nine.
man.
10, 11. 18 pages from your journal, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just going to show you the first page and a couple of other pages. What are we looking at
Yeah.
the front page of the stapled
I think
18-page
so.
document that is your copy of your journal?
This is
Why Alex needs to be studied is this reason. I give no credit to Alex. I do not care for Alex. I think Alex is deeply disturbed, but also very responsible. Why Alex should be studied, though, and understanding how these cults work, is that I believe Alex was the most convicted. I've said it in all these lives, but it's just to really give you guys context. This guy really did think more. Like, he just took all that information in and believed it. And that's why I think he was the most horrendous one, because in his mind, he was justified in whatever way that they justified it. And everybody played a different role, but Alex's role was, I believe it. I want to be forgiven. I want this. I wish I had this. And I'm going to do anything that this man of God is telling me to do. And I believe my sister. And it's sick. It's sick because the belief systems, dude, we have to understand this is how, and I don't know if we want to go down this path because I don't want to get our video done, but like the whole entire Hitler thing, it's the same thing. It's this person with this belief system that starts to somehow regurgitate, and you take advantage of this people. You know, if you really look into the history of that whole situation, like Germany was in a horrible place, and Hitler rose through and started to say, I'm going to be a good leader, and we're going to get back to the good, and we're going to be better. I'm going to bring this community together. So you get these people who are all broken in a horrible place. You rally them up together. You tell them all these sweet nothings, and then at a certain point, the cult mindset is, I'm going to follow that person to the end of the earth. Okay, the only person you should follow to the end of the earth is Jesus. That's the only human being you should follow to the end of the earth forever. But this is what happens. This is what happens in these places. These people, these cults are, it's real. They're really deeply in a cult, and they rallied around broken people. And this is why you have to find out your worth for yourself. Do some good work on yourself. You deserve it. Do some work on yourself. And right, me and Brandon were just talking about that. I couldn't believe it, dude. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You're really going to sit here and act that these people are so evil. And the interesting thing is, again, Lori's like, everyone's after me. Chad's saying I'm a god. Lori's saying I'm a goddess, but I'm also this, right? She's like, everybody's after me. Everybody hates me. Those are her projections of her own personal problems. This is a projection of Chad's personal problems. And Alex felt so horrible and guilty for his whole entire life. Instead of becoming a better person, this dude just said, I'll do whatever you say to atone for my sins that I feel bad about in the past. So I'm going to go do the most horrendous sins in the world. I'm going to go do the worst thing a human being could do. And Alex said, I'll do it so I can atone and be a good, godly man, with no thought or brain that what he was doing was completely against belief system. This is why you need a base, man. You need a base. Colby, how do you think Alex died? Did he take his own life? Zulema, did Alex have life insurance? I don't think Alex had a life insurance policy. If I'm being honest, that probably, if because of what I know now about this case, if Alex had a life insurance policy, I do think that Lori and them would have cashed in on him without a doubt. There would be evidence. She would have manipulated him enough, especially because he didn't get married with the Zulema till very late in the day or the game, like almost literally right before the end of his life. So I honestly think, I said it earlier in the live. I just think he either was overwhelmed by the pain, right? Because it takes a toll whether you're, dead or not inside or not. And then on top of it, it's possible that he took his own life. Those make the most sense to me. Honestly, their cult reminded me of Jamestown. It was genuinely scary to see that happen again, or even Manson. Yes, I actually just started learning about the Manson thing. I didn't know that story. It's a lot of things I'm learning about that really this is how this happens. So why we spend so much time talking about this? Why we're pausing this is that we're talking about making people aware in these groups and communities, because some people have such good intentions. Some people genuinely want to serve God, and some people genuinely want to do the right thing. And that is what makes them so susceptible to deceit. It makes them so open that they're willing to do anything to try to do the right thing. And then someone comes in, and that's exactly what happens, is that they get pulled in really, really easily and fast. And then they just believe everything that someone feeds them. That's how it happens.
Ratings that Chad and Lori taught. So that would be going from a 1 is in the spirit world, and when you come the first time on the earth, you're a 2. Second time you come, you're a 3. The fourth time you come for 1, and so on and so forth. And it would be exactly the same thing for ratings if you were light or if you were dark. So this will be the rating, either 1L
Yes.
for 1 light or 1D for 1 dark.
And then is it, so the lowest level is at 1 and the
Correct.
highest level is 6 or 7?
6.
Okay. And this is the numbering scale for both the light and the dark.
Just
Correct.
making up crap.
And forgive me, I think you told us, were you a 4.2 light?
I believe so.
Okay. And what was Lori when she first talked to you and introduced the idea?
4.3 light.
Okay. So higher than you.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, she was better than her. So 6 is the top tier, and Lori said I'm a 4.3. It's weird that she didn't give her a 6. Give herself a 6. How interesting is that the top tier of their light list is the number 6. Dang, McSpunky. Gosh, dang. 6.9 dark. Sheesh.
On the fourth page of the exhibit, there is a phrase cast out. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. And it says get rid of them. How, once the evil spirit is pushed out of a body, how do you destroy the body?
Yeah, you're lit. You're
I
lit.
don't
You
know
know how
if
lit you must be when you're a 4.3 light? This is such a, oh my gosh, it is so, it's such a joke. What so someone comes up to you and says, you're such a light person, and I'm going to tell you your number, right? This is a fortune cookie. And here's your numbers of the day. You're a 4.3 light. You're such a good person. You've been here 30 times. You and I were married multiple times. We've had multiple kids. And that girl over there is your daughter from a past life. That's your daughter from a past life, even though she's probably older than your ass. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody's all related. We're all family. We didn't even know it. Did you even know we were all family? These are all your kids. Even though they're older to you in this life, these are your kids. And tells you how you died in a past life. Oh my gosh. What a joke. What a gosh dang joke.
there was a way to destroy the body. What this would depict would be that since Lori and Chad were saying that every time that one demon was cast out, and then will leave that 2-minute window for another one to come in, then spiritually we needed to
How do you prevent another?
prevent from another
Right.
demon to come in by doing certain things, such as putting water in fire and destroying
my
the
gosh.
body in order to be.
It's literally the last airbender. to stop a second demon. Okay, guys, we've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes before another demon comes. We got it out there. 2-minute gap. Get that fire in that water. Can you just like, come on now. This has to be red flags. It has to. Ashley says, Colby and Kelsey, the bravery you continue to exhibit every day is inspiring. These videos make me feel like I belong. I just want you both to know how grateful I am to have this channel. Ashley, that's so great. Thank you for being a part of the group. Thank you for being a part of our community. You guys make this community. We are all equal in this community, man. This is what it is. Thank you, Denise. I have to give context. I think my brain needed this as a healing thing. My brain needed to try to understand the best I could. I know I'll never understand. Even if Lori and I sat down and Lori said, I did this because I thought they were demons. I did this. It'll never make sense to me. No matter what. It doesn't matter if everybody did that. The point is, the part of my brain that's trying to come to an understanding of knowledge really comes to this point of, once I can conceive just enough, there's a part of my brain that can just accept to move forward to the next thing. I don't know how else to explain that. I think a lot of people did this. I actually explained to you guys in the movie The Lovely Bones, the dad becomes obsessed with his daughter's case and figuring it out. I think there's some stuff, like some part of our brains just sometimes need to have some understanding and some kind of closure. And it's just a part of you that just needs to understand something because you want to move forward. You do. You're never going to be the same, but a part of you just has to come up with the explanations the best possible way. So I'm connecting all of my lore of my life, of all of my childhood, every time. I'm very good at reading people. So I know people very deeply. I see things that no one else sees. And so I just have a very way of connecting that from what we're hearing. And I can kind of tell you if it's BS or not too. A lot of the stuff, if someone's completely lying, it's very easy to tell because I know some people to their cores, and it's obviously like family members.
Yeah, so that there will be no way that another demon could come in.
Okay. And so in order to make sure a demon doesn't come back, the body has to be destroyed in some way.
Correct.
Burning is one way.
Correct.
Destroying, does that mean, taking apart? Is that another way?
Correct.
Yeah, I am.
Is there anything about binding?
I believe so.
Okay. What about binding the body?
I believe so that there was one like that too.
Okay.
Binding the body. Explain that. Explain that one. What does binding the body mean?
May I have States Exhibit, I believe, 8N and 8M, please?
Yes.
Previously admitted, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
That has
I'll
to
take
be
this
what it
one.
is.
So I don't accidentally
Oh.
give it to you.
And you know what? Again, so now we have binding. This is also, if you guys do some, I got into this space. I didn't want to, but I did. There's some very deep ritual stuff and some witchcraft things about binding. Some very specific things that people do when it comes to these horrible death ceremony things that people do. What I'll tell you is this: Chad, if they said these things, has foreshadowed what they did. Yeah. Kelsey just said that they said burning too. Burning with fire, binding. It's all, and what did Chad tell Zulema about her past life? She was dismembered in her past life. This guy was literally thinking this stuff in his brain. This is why I said he's a psychopath, man. You don't have these are not normal human being thoughts. So now we know there was so much pre-thought to this. There was so much of this thing that he was literally projecting to the future. Foreshadowing. He was foreshadowing what he was going to do. Maybe before he knew that he was going to do it, but he still foreshadowed it all. These were thoughts in this man's brain. Binding human beings, kicking their spirit out, eliminating their body, dismembering them, burning. This man was sick. We have to understand too, it is going back to a point where Chad was the tip of it all. Lori is just as guilty and Alex is just as guilty. Some of these other people in the group knew things and never said a word. But at the end of the day, Chad really was the beginning of it all as far as lore goes. He was telling people things and they were believing him. That's the sickest, unbelievable thing I've ever heard in my life. To foreshadow everything that happened, those words don't just come out of your mouth, and that's exactly what happens later down the road. There's no way. Oh, he is sick, Brandon. He is. That guy has not.
And these exhibits have been previously
not a single emotion. I've never seen that man with any kind of emotion other than happy as hell with his 2 hot dogs.
admitted States Exhibit 8M and 8N. These. Do you recognize what these scales are? If you could see them. Let me see if I can zoom in. I may just have to show the witness the exhibit. Can you see it? Is it focused for you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Do you know what these are?
Yes, I do.
What are these?
The one on the left-hand side is, here again is the scale of the ratings of the people who are upon the earth right now. And Chad had put here how many 2s, because remember, one is still in a spiritual form. So at 2.
I think what she's saying is that Tylee died 2 days, because actually, no, you're maybe right. When she said that, I think she was trying to remember the timeline where she lied, because she's saying that they died. So in her story, this is her story, in my opinion. Lori has now told me very directly, told other people, that Tylee obviously did what she did to JJ. We know this is so fake. I hate to even reiterate this, but for context, she said that happened with JJ and then took her own life. So they're basically saying there was a day gap where they would have done what they did to the kids afterwards, and to even, whatever her case was. And then she basically said, well, because she's trying to pretend that happened. You can't keep it straight. She can't keep it straight. So it's wild, man. She's sick. Thank you, by the way, Katrina.
Who would be billions of males and females. Then a 3 would be only 700,000. For 1 would be 70,000. For 2s only 7,000, and so on and so forth.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Up to a 6.
I will tell you guys, I've made some videos for you guys when I'm having some private time and just thinking out loud. There's definitely this does take a toll. I'll be 1,000% honest with you. It takes a toll every time. It takes a toll every day. But at the same time, I do believe that I'm doing something that's going to help people down the road. And for me, I'm going to close a big book here. Closing the book.
Now, I do notice you mentioned the page that's on the left-hand side of the exhibit, because it's a photograph of a couple of pages. And what's the page sort of in the middle of the exhibit, the middle right side? Can you see any of that?
We know the truth, guys. We know the truth.
Yes. I believe this is when Lori asked Chad to give her the rating for all of her family.
Now, if you could, do you see a rating for her daughter, Tylee Ryan?
Sounds a lot like Chad led this group, for real. They probably made some stuff up together, but for sure, there was some serious. Chad seemed to be the zombie person. Chad was the light scale person. Chad really led this. I think what happened was he really led it, and then they just probably started making up some stuff together. Who knows? Because then there was all, the spirit told me this angel told me this. It's all now becomes all these personal visitations and dreams and visions and a bunch of lies. So you could just go into your room for 10 minutes and come out and say, I just vibrated so hard that I saw an angel tell me this. They're just a bunch of morons.
Judge, I'm going to object, and may
I object to you.
Objection.
Object to that.
All right. Ms. Pastinas, had you seen these
Yes.
before today?
Yes.
And who showed these to you?
I don't remember,
You don't remember?
but I have seen them before. Yeah.
Okay. Lori didn't show them to you, did she?
I don't remember.
Chad didn't show them to you, did he?
Actually, Chad did have this on his computer, and then yes, he did show me this in his computer
When?
at the meeting in August of 2019 at Lori's house.
Did it have at Lori's house in August of 2017?
Sorry, one more time. What was the date on
You
that?
said 19.
I believe it was in early August of 2019.
She said
2019, early August.
I
she
believe
just
that's what the
said
day was,
Okay.
to the best of my recollection.
Okay. And did it have all this handwriting on it?
No,
No. So it was a different document.
it was in his computer. It was the same document in computer format, whether it was Word format or something like that.
And he explained to you what all this stuff was.
Yeah, he had this and several others.
Okay. All right, Judge, I guess I don't have an objection.
Okay. You can
thank you,
continue
Cheryl.
with the Examination, Ms. Smith.
Love you
Thank
too.
you. I'm sorry, I asked you about the rating for Tylee Ryan. That's down in the middle of the page. Under the phrase third husband,
Oh, I see it. Okay, I see it now.
what was Tylee's rating?
4.1 dark.
And on that same document, under Tylee, there is ratings for Charles Vallow, correct?
Yes,
And what was his rating now?
3 light.
What was the rating for Melanie Boudreau? I believe that's down at the end, and I know the print's hard and the scale, the lighting's hard in here.
3 light.
And what about Brandon? What was Brandon's rating?
3 dark.
And this was based on teachings from Chad?
Correct.
There you go. This is Chad's thing. The rating dark stuff. This is Chad, man. You got to see it for what it is. Not saying Lori didn't participate and believe it and every other messed up thing in the world. This is, if anybody's the
Yeah,
most responsible, it's Lori. It doesn't matter what anybody tells you. If someone came up to you and told you your child is dark, all these people are dark, they're light, you should, I don't know what I would, it'd be UFC. It'd be Hell in a Cell.
Previously, you had
find out
talked
about
about
me.
states exhibits 52 and 53. Do you remember talking about some of those? Okay. Let me show you, if I may, Your Honor. Show you states exhibits 52 C, D, and E. See if you recognize those. Yeah, 52 C, D, and E. May I show those to the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
As of yet, no.
Thank you, sir.
Not yet. Yeah, and that goes for any. It's not a thought. But you heard that Lori made up the lore, so she hears this, and hears that they're dark and all that stuff, and then she starts making up reasons why they're dark. JJ crawled up here and said, "I love Satan." I'm going to say that is 100% not even possible that JJ stood up and thought consciously to say, "I love Satan." So they made up reasons for all of this stuff to justify their sick agenda. And Lori must have heard this and then started trying to rationalize it in a sense by figuring out, this is when someone changed and this is why they are, dark. But it came from Chad.
Do you recognize those?
Yes.
What is 52 C, D, and
No
E?
shot, dude.
These ones are pictures that were taken at the Preparing a People conference in
Thank you,
Rexburg.
Lori.
And who was at that Preparing a People conference in Rexburg?
Chad Daybell, Serena Sharp, Melanie Gibb, and I.
Was Lori at that conference?
No.
Okay. And are each of those true and accurate pictures of the people who attended the Preparing of People conference? And was that in?
JJ was only nonverbal for a while, and then he just made this huge jump. So, yep. Simply catch
2018, or was that in 2019?
Simply catch him. And that is simply okay. We found, just on a side note, we found my oldest daughter has really loved to film herself, and she filmed a video of herself the other day. And I was downstairs and she came down on the video and she sees me for whatever reason, whatever I'm doing. I don't know what I was doing, but she was wearing her superhero suit. So anytime my oldest daughter's in her superhero suit, I'm always the bad guy. Just like it just is that way. It's like second I know she's in that mood. So she ran away before I had said anything. She's on their camera and she runs upstairs And I went, ah, like that. And she like screamed on her way up. And then she comes down, or she goes up and she goes, he yelled and it scared me. And that's simply okay. She's just talking to herself on there. It was the greatest thing, man. Just to give you guys just to break up all the tension and the darkness here in this realm. It was one of the cutest things ever. And he scared me, and it's simply okay.
19.
It was the cutest video.
Are those each of those true and accurate pictures of the people who attended that conference?
Yes.
Move for the admission of 52C, D, and E.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, 52C, 52D, and 52E are all admitted.
Oh, we got it, baby. You're gonna see this puppy. You know you're gonna get this. We're gonna have to get our own ice cold hats, huh? I'm gonna have to go
All right,
make.
ma'am, let's turn first to 52C. I apologize, your permission to publish?
You can.
I got ahead of myself. What are we looking at 52C?
On the left-hand side, it's me, Audrey, Danae, and Serena Sharp.
And you've mentioned Audrey before?
I'm glad you guys could see that. It was so peaceful. When I posted that video, it was almost like I could just imagine that they were peaceful. Yes, she did for, I mean, like 3-4 times. She was off doing her craziness early on, so she barely ever saw my daughter, ever. Which is a good thing. She's never met my second daughter, and she's never met my son.
Was she part of, did she attend several of the conferences?
Yes.
Was she friends with Chad?
Yes.
Yep.
What is 52D?
Yes.
So
Oh,
in
you
this
guys,
picture,
hold on.
we
You guys
are
want some
at-
ice colds? Because I'll make them to where they don't have any words, anything. We'll make something similar to this, and we'll make it cool. Because I want you guys to have stuff you like. That's all that's ever mattered to me. Like, you guys can give me feedback on things you like, and I'll figure out ways to get you guys things you like. That's what matters.
At Chad's table, and the left-hand side is Chad. The next lady, I don't
No.
remember who she is. Then it's Serena, Melanie, and I.
Not at all.
And 52E? What is that?
This is another picture of that conference. I don't remember the first lady on the left. Then it's Melanie, Serena, I, Audrey, and then I don't remember the other lady's name.
But you're in the middle in red?
I am in the middle, yes.
That is
In
going to
the
be
red
hard,
scarf.
but I think it is worth going over. I do think it's worth talking about. That call hurt me when I heard it, regardless. No.
All right. And Serena is on one side of you and Audrey's on the other?
Correct.
And then Melanie Gibb is on the further to your picture in the right.
Yes.
Okay. And if I may, Your Honor, state would like to show the witness States Exhibit 53B.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a picture of me and Serena at the Rexburg Preparing the People conference.
Okay. And is that a true and accurate picture of you and Serena at the Rexburg Preparing the People conference?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move for the admission of 53B.
Any objection?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't believe there's any relevance to this picture. It's just a picture of, I don't believe it has any tie to Lori Vallow or Chad Daybell.
Thank you, Kathy.
I'll note the objection. I'll also note that
You guys are really helping me a lot, for real.
been previously indicated.
You guys don't understand when I tell you, like, I'm not playing. I don't have family and support outside of my core family, which is my wife and my daughters and my son. I don't have that, and now I have Brandon again in my life. I have my friends. I have Ray. He's like a brother to me. I've had to form a new family, but you guys are that family. Like, I'm trying not to get emotional, man. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. You guys have been a great, loving support. Oh my gosh, dude. Hold on. it's just real. I'm not playing when I say this. Like, I know I wanted to create a community. I never expected anything out of it. I just knew what my heart was for. You guys are a love and support for me. You know, you guys are a love and support for me. I mean, for real. And if this is all I can ever do in my life is create what we have right here, right now, that's all I would do this for the rest of my life, because I know that we are the people who want more real stuff. We want more real life. We want the ups. We want the downs. We want to face real life for what it is. And we're not here to live in that Instagram / social media life where like everything's perfect, man. It's just not. And that's okay. You know, it's where we are. You know, I love you guys too. I would spend I would spend my time hanging out with you guys and getting to see you and be a part of your life for real. Like it's real. And so after I lost my family, it was a really lonely time. And then all of a sudden I'm blessed with this beautiful community. I got to slow down, man. I'm not going to cry like this. It is hard. It's hard to lose your entire family, but God blessed me with something that I couldn't have ever thought would happen. So I hope you guys know that. I mean it when I say that this is a real community, for real. And if this is what I want to give, I give my thing back, right? I try to give my heart to you, but you guys do the same thing, and you bring a level of love and support that I never thought would exist in my life ever again. So thank you.
It was a different
Thank you
location
for
as well.
everything.
The question I have though is what is the relevance of that picture to the state's case?
I'm going to ask the witness some questions about conversations that occurred at the
But you're not alone.
Preparing a People conference.
That's why we're here. You're not
Your
alone.
Honor, I guess my objection is I was going to say that this also was earlier referenced to be at another location, and now she's changing the location. I think if she wants to do that, maybe if she could
I
offer us
appreciate all of you, man.
some sort of an offer of proof at a sidebar or
Okay,
something.
so I'm going to tell you, if you're going to CrimeCon, Nate did say it, so I can say it too. There is a meet and greet at CrimeCon if you are going. So if you're coming, that is our chance to see each other. You're going to see Ray. He's going to be there. You're going to see Nate. He's going to be there. And we'll talk to you. So I can't wait for it. That is my personal thing I am the most excited about. Yeah. Getting choked up proves how genuine you really are. For all the haters who say you're doing this for money grab, they can go straight to thank you. Yeah, if people don't understand me, that's okay. I don't expect everybody to like me, or I don't expect that. I create something as a community. You guys have created it with me, and now it's just like this is where we are, and it's not going to make sense to everybody else, and that's okay. I'm not going to try to explain it to everybody. That's not what we're here to do. We're not here to try to change people's minds. Have your opinion. You stand up for yourself. You protect your family. You protect the people you love. Kelsey is going to be there. Of course Kelsey's going to be there. I hope you know that. I'm sorry, babe. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to say it, go around you. I just meant at the meet and greet, we're supposed to be there as the group. So you'll see us, and then Kelsey will be there. So it'd be an amazing thing. I see some of you guys are coming. I can't explain how excited I am. And again, I hope you guys know, I hope you don't feel left out. I know it's a whole, I didn't know about the tickets. I didn't really look into the event. I just knew that I wanted to be able to go and be with Ray and be with Nate and be able to share our real side of our story, not let the media spin everything, really go and let people know what it is. And so I'd love to be able to figure out maybe in the near future and the ability for us to all actually get together. I don't know how that's possible, but I'll do what I can. I'll figure that out. All right, let's keep going, guys. Sorry, I got really caught up. I started crying. Slow it down.
Okay, well, at this point, I will sustain the objection on relevance grounds.
Okay. Did you have conversations with Chad Daybell at the Preparing a People conference?
Yes, I always spoke with him during the conferences.
Okay. And
Yes.
do you remember, was this Preparing a People conference before or after Charles died?
Before.
Maybe we can come up with something where we can build something that it can be as reasonable as possible, and maybe we can really set it out. I told you my idea, and I'm just gonna be honest. This is the coolest idea to me in the world. We all get a cruise. I'll call the cruise line, say, we got a squad. We're all going to put in like, I don't know how much a cruise costs, but we just put in a certain amount, like not very much. And we all collectively go on a cruise. We're eating apps. We're laying out. We're hanging out. It'd be so freaking dope, man. That would just be so dope. The Colby cruise. I know that sounds so nerdy, but I had like an idea. I'm like, what if we could rent out a portion of a park? I'm weird like that. I'm like, let's go do something fun. Let's all hang out. Let's just do it, man. Get as many people there, and I'd figure out a way so everybody doesn't have to feel like financially burdened. Just figure out something cool and go freaking hang out, man. That'd be so fun. Get to know each other. We'll do a big reaction of all of us. We can all react. Maybe I'll get 150 million mics. Everybody can talk when they want. That'd be mayhem.
And was it before or after he had talked to you about his light and dark scales?
Uh-oh, you're right, Rebecca. Frick me.
When I say he had.
You can get on the boat with me. I'm not trying to take you anywhere. I'm not going to take you anywhere bad, man. I'm going to let the captain do his thing. Man, of all things, I forgot about that freaking boat.
I apologize. Chad had talked to you about the light and dark scales, if you remember.
How
I don't
dope.
remember
Okay.
which one was first.
Okay. Do you remember your conversation with Chad at the Rexburg Preparing a People conference?
I'm sorry, I'm thrown off by the question because this is the Boise.
Okay.
This is the Boise.
Oh, man. I got to get that guy going, man. They got to get that guy going. We get Ray there. We get Ray there with no shirt. Frick this.
Conference. And yes, I did talk to him
Okay.
during that conference.
So let me make it sure I'm clear. Can you look at the exhibit sticker on the back? I just want to make sure we have it straight. What's the number on the back?
53B.
And I apologize. What conference was it that this was at?
This is the Preparing a People Boise
Conference.
conference.
Okay. Did you have conversations with Chad Daybell at the Preparing a People conference in Boise?
Yes, I had conversations with him during the conference and after the conference. We
Okay.
were staying at the same hotel
And when was this? Before or after Charles died?
before,
Okay. Was it before or after Chad had met Lori?
after.
Was it before or after Charles and Lori had split up?
There you go.
It was after they had
We're
split
not.
up.
We went.
So could you,
we went and bring Trina and everybody that's been a part of this and give them a freaking vacation? Oh, we'd do it. You imagine that, man? Can you imagine us all on a cruise with everybody just hanging out, being regular people? Man, we play so many games. We do karaoke. I like to have fun, man. I like to have a good time. Let's go do something fun for once. This freaking crap is hard, man. This life has been tough. Life has been freaking tough.
sometime in the late winter, early spring of 2019? Would that be correct?
I would say that's accurate.
So what conversation did you have with Chad Daybell at the Boise Preparing a People conference?
Oh, he has to go. Judges are coming, everybody.
We talked about Lori was supposed to be at this conference, and we talked about how she was unable to make it because she canceled her trip at the last minute because she was thinking that Charles was going to serve her during this conference. We also talked about
What, can I ask you, serve her how?
At this point, council, so we've had an offer of an exhibit. We had an objection with some questions, a native objection. I thought we were back just laying foundation, but it sounds like, I don't know if we've moved on from the exhibit or you're still laying foundation to get the exhibit in.
I apologize. I thought the court wanted me to continue to lay the foundation. That's what I was.
I'm sorry.
Go
I'm so distracted right now with our chat because I'm having fun with you guys. When it's fun, I like to engage with you the most, too. But I'll tell you this: when I was on, I think I told you guys this story. I was on a cruise when I was like 12-ish, one of our first, maybe our first or second cruise. We got these wristbands. You know, my dad got us all these endless drink wristbands. We did not know that the endless drinks did not apply to virgin daiquiris. Okay, I was a chunky kid. You know, I I had some chunk going on, and I'd sit by the pool, and I got people walk around looking to see if anybody needs any drinks, and we had our wristbands on, and I'd just wave my hand while I'm laying out, and I got my hair was about this short right now, and I got my hair braided while we were out in Jamaica, and there's nothing to put in it. They just had my hair sticking straight up. So I looked insane. I had a freaking straight hair with beads in it. I'll never forget how hard and tight those freaking braids were. And so I have this braided hair. I'm big boy hanging out, and I'm literally 12 years old, and I'm like raising my hand. I'm like, another daiquiri. And I just had daiquiri on daiquiri. I did not know how expensive they were. I thought they were on my drink card. Like, people who know me know this story. I was just saying, I had maybe 6-7 daiquiris a day. Okay. At the end of the cruise, Charles comes to me and goes, Colby, you and your brother literally spent like $500 on drinks. And we were like, I was so scared because I did not know that they did not cover on the drink card. When I tell you I had a strawberry banana daiquiri everywhere I went at 12, and there was a kids club at the cruise, and I would go in there, and there was like kids, like 13-year-olds and all that stuff. There's like age group. So I'm like in there dancing with the daiquiri. Oh, he was so mad at me. Charles was so mad at me, bro. Oh yeah. I was sunburned, by the way, the entire cruise. I was red as a beet. My brother had a picture of me in that time because I was red as a beet, so sunburnt, hair twisted, daiquiri in hand, bro. I was living life. I was on my crap, dude. There's nobody could tell me nothing. You got a free buffet. You can have room service for free. I'm sitting there eating BLTs, watching people gamble, going to the shows that are for the adults. It was a life, dude.
But I just wondered if we were still in the foundational line of questioning.
I can do it either way. I can move for the admission again, having laid additional foundation, or I can finish this section up.
Let me just ask Mr. Thomas, is there an objection continuing at this point with the additional
Thank you,
questions
Marsha.
and answers you've heard here?
No, Judge, will not object.
Okay, so 53B was.
Yeah, I actually
now
heard that
minute.
we sold out. I don't mean we, like CrimeCon though, sold out very, very, very quickly this year. So that's interesting because I've never been there. I don't know anything about it, but it sold out quickly. Very, very, very quickly.
Admitted, and you can continue your questioning, Ms. Smith. Thank you.
Sorry. What did Chad say about Lori not being there?
If I ever get that photo, you won't believe it. When you
We
see it.
talked about how it was best for her not to be there so that she could be protected because in that way, the person that was going to be there to serve her couldn't find her.
Okay. And why was Lori not getting served with divorce papers in a way of protecting her?
I don't know.
And who was present with you at this conference?
Melanie, Gibb, Serena, Audrey, and I were there.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'll renew my request for the admission of State's Exhibit 53B.
It's already been admitted.
Oh, thank you, Judge. I'm sorry. May we publish it to the jury?
Yes.
Guys, I felt so bad, dude. I felt so bad.
And that's a picture of?
I would never have
Serena.
never bought that many daiquiris had I freaking knew that they were. I thought they were part of the drink card. I genuinely believe that.
And I.
Oh, if I get the chance, you bring me a strawberry banana daiquiri.
Now, turning towards some additional questions.
You know what? I'm gonna go get daiquiri stuff today. Kel, if you're here, we're getting daiquiris today for tomorrow. I'm having a DAC. You can't skip on it now. You got my brain is going crazy.
There was your description of castings. Did the castings always stay the same? Were they handled the exact same way each time?
They were similar, but not the same.
Okay.
Don't get me.
How was it different than just praying for someone?
I feel bad here because I'm telling you what, my brain has completely left what we're doing right now. So I'm gonna try to lock in, guys. You know I love you. We can keep talking, but but I'm getting distracted and I'm getting excited about these ideas. So I'm sorry, because we're here to try to go through this stuff. It's just been hard, man. It's a hard thing. Brain's trying to get some relief. So try to get back locked into it. I'll give you guys my thoughts, but I am definitely all over the place because now you guys got me in the chat just feeling like we're just hanging out. We need a fun live too. We need to set that up soon and just do a live where we do nothing but hang out. Let's do that.
Fun.
So when we are praying for someone, we are asking for whatever that person may need, or blessing them, or asking for help or deliverance, or whatever it may be that person is needing. Casting is specifically to cast out an evil spirit or a demon.
I love that form.
And there were castings on Charles
Yes,
that you participated in.
yes,
Castings on Tammy that you participated in.
yes.
Okay.
We should. I never use my TikTok.
And
We should do that.
the group of people that would come to your house or meet with Chad and Lori, were each of them given gifts or told that they had spiritual, significance?
Yes,
So what was Melanie Gibbs' gift?
she was a gatherer.
I will let you guys know. So we have a private Discord for just our mods. We keep that private. There's also a Discord for all the chiefs. I don't know if you guys know this. If you're a chief on our channel, there's a Discord for you. I'll repost the link if you guys don't know. All of our chiefs have a Discord where I wanted to have this kind of thing where we can hang out and do just chat about stuff in general, right? Just hang out. We have those. Both of those are technically private Discords. But with that being said, the chiefs have access to that. And then the members, the mods have a private Discord just for that, So I just want you guys to know that. I don't know if anybody knows that, but we have an entire Discord just for the Chiefs.
What was your gift?
Chad said that I was my gift was the elements,
What does that mean?
to be able to work with the elements.
You guys have no idea how
I
much
give
your
the
support means
response
to
on
me.
Melanie's gift. What was that?
Melanie Gibbs' gift was
A gatherer.
a gatherer. Okay. And just what does that mean? What does gatherer mean?
So as our members, we have warriors and chiefs, and our chiefs have a Discord. And I'll post it for the chiefs specifically after we're done, so you guys get another round of it. But that link is for all the chiefs.
Gathering people.
Oh my
gathering,
gosh, guys.
people
Okay, I have a story for you. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted, but I'm going to tell you because you guys have been asking me. We have a P.O. box. I went there yesterday with Kelsey. We tried to get this set up, and then they needed another form of ID, and she gave me the application. So we paid for it. We have to go in there, and then they're going to give me the key, and I'll have the number for you. So I did all the work yesterday trying to get it done. That's what it is. So there's been a lot. We're so busy. There's so much going on in our lives. But yeah, I promise we tried to get that done yesterday, and we had to come home and grab another form of ID. They wouldn't let me just do it, which really sucks.
was who were awake.
What does awake mean?
Awake to the signs,
Haircut,
aware
baby.
of the times, and aware of what of the things that are to come prior to the second coming.
And yours was to work with the elements.
Correct.
Oh my god.
And these were
The elements thing is it's tough. It's tough. Listen, I've eaten a sour cream cricket. I've eaten the candy. I'm not proud of it, but I've done it. I ate the crickets. I ate the scorpion. We'll have to react to that video and show it to you guys. It was horrid. But I mean, if you send me hot stuff, just don't take me out, man. Don't take me out.
gifts identified or described for you by Lori and Chad.
Yes.
Okay. Did Lori tell you this, or did Chad? Or
Chad.
both? Chad. Okay. What was Serena? What was her gift?
Chad said that she was a very powerful goddess.
Oh my gosh.
What about Melanie Boudreau? I think you call her Melly, but Melanie Boudreau. What was her gift?
I don't remember
Okay.
what her gift was.
And what was Alex's gift or responsibility?
He was a warrior.
That makes me want.
And a warrior for what?
I want to change the name of our freaking thing because of that. But guess what? No, Alex was not a warrior. Alex was a psychopath.
Chad had told him that he was
We do not claim him.
going to be a warrior, a defender, and he was going to be training many other warriors that were going to be moving to Rexburg in the future.
He was the general of the warriors. Are we kidding? Are we kidding ourselves here?
Okay. And when you say a warrior defender, a defender of who?
Well, at that time, Chad had told Alex that he had come only once to this earth, and the sole purpose for him coming to this earth was so that he could be Lori's protector and defender.
Did Alex believe this?
Absolutely.
You mentioned about that Lori had talked about problems in her financial problems or problems in her marriage to Charles. Did you ever talk to Alex about that situation or about what happened to Charles?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's exactly.
I don't recall talking to Alex about their financial issues.
Do you recall talking to him about what happened to Charles?
Yes.
What did he say about what happened to Charles?
I asked him if he was okay after he had just shot someone. I thought he would be like in shock or struggling with what had happened. And he said, Zulema, he was
Are you
a
serious?
zombie.
I'll wear anything, man. If you guys send it, I'll wear it. Just as long as it's not a Speedo. I'm not putting it on.
Lori explained to you anything about Charles's life insurance money?
Yeah, she mentioned that Charles had $1 million life insurance and that she was the beneficiary of it.
Did she ever talk about other plans? You know, that if the casting didn't work, did she talk about other ways to deal with Charles?
When we were at my house in March of 2019 and we had done the casting, she was laughing and she said that, well, if it doesn't work, I can always put some pills in his water or something. And then she laughed it off.
Oh, hell no. Kelsey loves Harley Davidson. I'll be honest with you guys. It means more than anything to me. Like, I would never set up a P.O. box unless you guys wanted that. And I mean that because, like, I anything you send, I would be grateful for. Anything you do, like, I'd be happy to read your letters. I'd be happy. That's kind of what my first thought was, that maybe you guys want to write letters or something. But anything you send, I have a desk here. We're going to change the background a little bit. We're going to get it a little bit more set up. I'm going to zoom our camera back a little bit. And I have a desk, and I will proudly display absolutely anything on this desk. As long as it's not a Speedo, I'm not doing it. And I'm not gonna, I don't know, anything wild. If it's too wild, I don't know. If you send me 2 Speedos from me and Ray, I might have to ask him. We'll take one pic for you guys and leave it out there. I'm just kidding, by the way.
Did Lori ever talk to you, or Lori and Chad ever talk to you about how long they expected JJ to live?
Finally, that makes me feel really good. I'm glad that God has reached you, and I'm glad that I could help in any way, shape, or form.
Lori had said that he was going to have a very short life. And then in a meeting that we had at Lori's house in early August
Of 2019?
he said that JJ was going to have a very short life, that he was going to, the reason why he was going to live a short life was because he was going to come right back as Colby's child.
They told what? They told people that I was going to have JJ the reincarnated JJ as my child. Listen to this. This is what
And to your knowledge, did Alex believe this?
At Lori's house in early August
Of
of
2019?
2019, he said that JJ was going to have a very short life, that he was going to, the reason why he was going to live a short life was because he was going to come right back as Colby's child.
I've never met him. Let me tell you something, okay? 2 things. Number 1, that's the sickest thing ever. That, oh, well, we're going to kill him so he can come back as Colby's child. Number 2, none of my children are anybody but who they are. God made them. There's no reincarnation out here. There's no anybody else coming back. It's beyond delusional. Beyond delusional. And the fact that he would even speak ever about JJ, Tylee, Charles, even Tammy, dude, I feel for Tammy, for Brandon, and even like I can't believe that he even thought he could say the stuff he said to people. I don't even know what to say. I mean, that's my problem here. Like that didn't make you feel, if someone comes up to you and says this child has a very short window of life, why wouldn't that be like the ultimate red flag that somebody is calling out death? They're calling it out on a baby, on a little tiny baby, a little child. How would you even stomach that? How could you let someone say that out loud and not think, how could you even listen to this though, as a listener?
And to your knowledge, did Alex believe this?
Yes, but Alex believed everything they told him.
Now, did you ever hear a conversation about how long Tylee was going to live?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Did you ever have any information that she would die soon?
Not that I remember.
Now,
Ms. Smith?
yes, sir.
Pardon the interruption. Could we just have a brief sidebar with the
Sure.
council about scheduling?
Sure. Or have any evidence to suggest that Lori believed such things? Did the rules apply to Lori?
Lori and Chad were teaching that if you had been exalted in another world or another probation, then this time that you came to the earth, it didn't count for you because you had already proven yourself in another probation. And she would often say, it doesn't count for me.
You mean a hand gesture? She would hit something and go,
It doesn't count for me.
so when Lori shared these experiences and her personal belief that things didn't count for her, did the people in your group believe her?
I don't know whether other people believed her or not.
Did you believe her?
That part I couldn't.
Okay.
I couldn't. I used to say it counts for me.
Did Alex believe her?
Yeah, Alex believed everything she said.
There you go.
Did Alex believe his mission was to protect her?
Absolutely.
And that mission was given to him by
Chad
and
and Lori because they gave it to him during a blessing.
So they tell him in a blessing that your job on this planet is to serve us. Be a servant. Be a warrior. That'd be awesome, Aaron. Thank you. But they told Alex that this is his job. Like this is his only purpose. He's alive by God to do this. And he believed it.
And who is it who benefited from Charles's death?
It's why you don't just
Lori directly.
exactly, Jim. It's why you don't just jump in and get married. You don't just marry someone out of nowhere. Like out of nowhere, you're just like, hey, let's just do it. Let's get married. It's been a week. I've known you long enough.
And eventually Chad.
Who benefited from Tylee's death?
Lori directly and then eventually Chad.
And who benefited from JJ's death?
Lori directly and eventually Chad.
And who benefited from
Object. I
Tammy?
don't understand the context of who's benefiting and how they're benefiting.
I'll sustain the objection. I
Thank
think it's vague.
And Alex took seriously his mission to protect Lori.
Absolutely.
I have nothing further.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Wow.
So we'll take our
Did you receive that the ums dropped off?
afternoon break now, and
Pretty hard.
we'll try to make this 15 to 20 minutes if possible.
Just a little bit curious. It looks your testimony this afternoon was dramatically different than your testimony this morning. Did you review any notes over the lunch hour or talk to anybody about the case over the lunch
That's
hour?
my point.
No.
Don't let someone tell you you need to go get married for this spiritual reason. How about you have free will and you should think for yourself? For real. You should think before you just do something because you trust someone. Like, you got to think it through.
Okay.
My nerves were quite different this morning than this afternoon.
Oh, okay. Did you take any medication?
No, but I ate lunch.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
How was you allowed to ask that?
So you first met Lori, it looks like in
169?
2019 or 2018. 2018, is that right?
2018.
Okay.
Yes.
And that was in late fall, early winter?
Yes, fall 2018.
Okay. And that had to do with a conference for, I'm not sure if it was a preparing of people, but it was one of those types of conferences. Is that right?
It was at a meeting at Melanie Gibbs' house.
Okay. And was that in relation to preparing a people, or what kind of a meeting was it?
Maybe.
Melanie usually would have different people coming to speak at her house. Sometimes they would talk about books. Sometimes they would talk about food storage. Sometimes other topics. So
Okay.
they're just different topics
Okay.
all the
That's what
time.
I'm saying.
Were these
You can't say, did you take medication? How are you allowed to ask that? That's very personal medical. That doesn't matter what it is.
kinds of topics that you would also encounter at the preparing of people conferences that you would go to?
Some of them, yes.
Okay. All right. And you met Lori there, and the two of you became friends over the year or so?
Yes.
One of the things that connected you, I'm assuming, is your faith. You're both members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Is that right?
Correct.
And you're both, I mean, I don't want to say fairly active, because most fairly active people go to church once a week and just do the basics. But you guys were kind of, you and your core group, I guess what I'm saying is you, Melanie Gibb, Lori, some of the other people that you mentioned, were kind of very active in the church. Is that right?
I would say so, yes.
You would go to the temple quite often,
Yes.
and sometimes that's where you would meet up with these other women, right?
Yes.
No, she got married pretty quick. I don't think she went further than 6 months on each one. I don't think that she dated for very long.
And as you've indicated on direct exam, these meetups weren't just for spiritual gain. They were also just to get together, just a group of friends, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah, defense attorney. They were just a group of innocent friends hanging out, doing their spiritual duties. Are we really going to have to do this? This guy, I'm not trying to, I understand this is his job. I'm trying to be very, very non-judgmental, but come on, bro. Like, we know, everybody in the room besides the jury, even the jury knows what this is at this point. You don't need much more.
But or was it more or less mostly about the spiritual portion of your life, or was it, or was there kind of a divide between these are my regular friends and then these are my church friends? Does that make any sense?
It does make sense what you're saying. I would say that when I was meeting with Lori, we usually were talking about spiritual things.
Okay, all right. And one of the things that you indicated on direct examination with the
So
prosecution.
I'll post it for the Chiefs after the live. I'll post it in that group specifically so you guys have it. Yeah, hop in the Discord, man. We made it a while ago when we first made the Chiefs tier. We made it because we wanted to be able to have that thing where we can just all talk about stuff. So I'll post that link for the Chiefs after we're done with this live.
And one of the things I think that kind of maybe drew you to Lori was her personal experience with meeting Jesus, or having a personal experience where she had a personal visitation. Was that something that kind of intrigued you?
I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would use the term intrigue me as much as, I don't know if I would when someone has an experience like that, I mean, it is the ultimate, most sacred experience that any human can have.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I find it, I would say, intriguing as much as I found it amazing.
Amazing. And so you wanted to hear more about that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And over the course of the year or so that you guys were friends,
what do you do if you get a client like her and it's so damning against you? What do you do? How do you even try to pretend that there is anything more, right? Like how are you supposed to do your job against this kind of stuff? You know what I mean?
that came up a lot, right?
Yes.
And you had your own experiences when you were in the temple sometimes, right?
Yes.
I specifically remember reviewing some of your text messages, specifically to Chad, where you talk about
Great idea.
having spiritual experiences while you're in the temple, right?
Correct.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about some of that?
Objection, relevance about her personal experiences?
What's the relevance?
Your Honor, it goes to her personal belief in Lori's belief and Chad's belief and how close she was to this specific group.
I'll overrule the objection and allow the
Thank you.
question. So if you want to reiterate the question, perhaps, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you. Would you please tell us a little bit about some of your spiritual experiences while you were in the temple?
Would you like me to relate anything in specific that you are referring to?
Sure. One of the ones was specifically on 12/4/2018. It says, "Hi, Chad. This is Zulema. I have to tell you that since you gave me that blessing, I've been having visions, full awake, no more dreams. My visions have been at the temple. I've had 3 so far." Do you recall that?
Yes,
So
I
tell
do.
me a little bit about some of those visions.
Judge, I'm going to
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's an objection because that's really personal. I guess Zulema gave her. I guess she gave her journal to the court.
Thinking about the specific visions. I'm not seeing their relevance about her visions unless they relate to Chad and Lori.
Well, there was a lot of questioning about what she believed, and I think this does go directly to that issue, so I'll overrule that objection at this point. I will indicate it could certainly get too broad, Mr. Thomas,
Sure.
but you've narrowed this into communications she had with Chad Daybell, so for that reason, I'll allow it.
Thank you.
I am not exactly sure specifically which visions he would be that I was referring to at the time. I mean, I can explain one that I remember. I remember seeing myself in a beautiful room with a big table, and I was sitting at the head of the table, and there was all these children or people sitting. It's a very large table, and that's what I saw.
And there was a man sitting on the other end.
Yes.
How did he?
And-
how did he infer that? Was that written down?
You couldn't see his face, but he was a godlike being.
Yes, a very light being. Mm-hmm.
And
Let me say something. Okay, we need to be sensitive in this topic because there are people who have these experiences. You also have to understand if you're dabbling though in the wrong realm, if you're doing this stuff, this magic crap, this whole thing, and you're having these visions, you should really check your visions. You shouldn't just believe because anybody can have exactly. And these visions are always and especially if they're relaying the things you've learned in this fake realm, that would not be from God. God would not contradict himself. God would not give you a vision that is for this stuff. He's not going to go and stamp this. It goes against everything that God is. So again, those visions, you just have to, if you do have a vision, I think in dreams, you should really think and pray about it. You've got to understand the seek and you will find, knock and the door will be opened unto you. The part of your job is bring the loaves and fishes. And that's what you do. You bring your part, go to God and see what it is. Don't just trust the fact that you had this experience and this vision. You don't just take everything for just face value. I just think that that's what's so dangerous about these cults. And that's why I'm trying to get that out there. We don't know if anybody for whatever reason ever is somehow being misled down a cult path right now. And they find one of our videos and they're able to at least recognize some of these patterns,
As I'm just reading specifically from this text message that you're describing. It says, I couldn't see his face, but he was a godlike being. And then in parentheses, you said, I think I read being shown my posterity and my husband. Do you recall that?
Yes,
And then you also indicated on direct examination that Chad had given you a blessing about you being married. Is that right?
correct.
Were you currently married?
God's also consistent. God's very consistent. You will see it. Exactly. God is consistent. God doesn't contradict himself in that way. So you would also be able to have those red flags.
Gave you that blessing?
No.
No. Had you been married before the blessing?
Yes,
Maybe
Multiple times.
I am
time?
baffled
Multiple.
by the fact that from what we know, there was 0 drugs involved, 0 psychotic drugs, or psychological drugs, whatever they're called. I mean, they were on psycho drugs. But no, they really didn't have any, mental. It's not like they were on shrooms or acid or something. They were just freaking nuts.
2 times.
Okay.
This was
So
sober.
you being married wasn't a super far stretch about getting married, right? Him giving you a blessing about getting married.
No,
Okay. When you were doing these castings, yeah. Is that what they were called? Is that what you called them? Just castings?
yes,
Okay. They were done.
None of them worked. Well, I don't know. I guess Zulema does, but none of them had a job. And so their whole plan was, we're going to get this money.
Spiritually, not physically. Am I right about that?
correct.
Okay. You never physically harmed anyone or attempted to harm anyone, right?
Correct.
You were attempting to spiritually harm or bind the spirit of that particular person, right?
Correct.
Probably.
You were, I guess I want to use the word light worker, or someone who works for, who was working in a spiritual realm for the lighter side. Does that make
I'll
sense?
tell you what, I'll try to figure this out. If it's even a possibility, dude, we got to go for it.
Sense to you?
Yes,
And this was, you didn't think that this was anything evil or anything bad,
no,
Yes, he is.
not at the time.
but you've since then come to think that it was evil or bad?
There are 2 children that have died and a mother of 5 that have died. I will consider that evil. Yes, sir.
Okay. And you believe that your casting out of spirits had some direct effect on 2 children that died and the spouse of another person that died?
My belief is that
I'm sorry, that's just a yes or no question.
No, you can't force that.
Objection. Answer should be allowed to answer.
And I think that council can handle it on redirect.
I agree. It was just a leading yes or no question. So
I hate that
Yeah,
they
it's a
can do
question.
that. I think the question is, you don't like. I'll never forget when I talked with Chad's lawyer. Everything he did was like a yes or no. To corner you, the way he framed it, and he gets you to one point and just wants you to say yes or no with no context. And I was like, at one point, he asked a couple things, and I was like, going to go. I didn't even know terminology of the court. I didn't know that you could say relevance, and so I was about to say that is irrelevant. And I asked, if I say anything back, is that going to be rude? Because I really don't want to be rude to people. I really don't, even if they're being horrible. I don't want to be rude. And especially, I'm not there for me. I'm there for my siblings. I'm there for my family. So it's hard though, because if you get led into it, they're skillful in being able to just make you say yes or no, which is so wrong because there's no context. You can't there's certain things I could do that would put you in a corner and then make you say yes or no. There's no context, right?
so I can have a court reporter.
That's just an unfair tool
So
that they use.
to my recollection, what you're saying is you believe that your work on casting had a direct effect on the 2 children that died and the spouse of the person that died.
Not my work, but Chad and Lori's work did.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, you have to go back.
You have a job when you're in Arizona. You said that on direct exam that you have a job, right?
Correct.
Is that job being a life coach?
No.
Okay. What is your job?
I am a job coach,
Job coach. Okay.
employment specialist.
Employment specialist. So what is that? You teach people how to, I'm sorry, I guess I won't even ask. What does that mean?
Why does I don't understand what he's trying to do. I really want to know. I like to dig deeper. I'm trying to figure out where he's coming from.
I teach people how to create resumes, how to apply for jobs. I help them get in place in jobs, and then I train them in their jobs.
Okay. And so you're not I mean, that's a fairly sophisticated job, right?
What?
I don't find it sophisticated. It's just a hard job, and I
Okay.
don't consider it sophisticated.
You're more sophisticated than the people that you're helping. Otherwise, they wouldn't need your help, right?
What? Okay, that's weird. You're more sophisticated. No, you have training on how to do a specific job. Be objective. Like it's just the person is their job's to try to do whatever they're told to teach you about your job. I don't understand what you're trying to figure out here.
More knowledgeable, yes.
More knowledgeable. Okay. And so I guess what I'm getting at is you're not a very gullible person, right? I mean, you have some sophistication.
Your client that you're defending is the main culprit. What the are you talking about?
I believe that I have always been the kind of person that believes people, and that believes that if I am not going to do something, someone else wouldn't do it either.
Exactly. It's so irrelevant.
So if I've been the kind of person that believes in the goodness of people, I see that their positive side, their good side, and I tried to believe that their intentions are always good.
There you go.
I have become a lot more cautious since meeting Chad and Lori, and my views have changed a little in regards to that.
Okay. So when you met Chad and Lori, you thought they were doing good work.
I thought they were kind, loving, righteous, law-abiding.
There you go. See, we talked about tears. You got it right here, man. We talked about tears. They get you like this. They get you. They pull you in with some soft stuff, but they're up here and they just slowly pull that in there. They pull you. That's exactly what they did. At least she's honest, bro. You got to give her credit, man. Like, she might not be honest about everything. I'm not trying to just make a case against her for her in any way. The reality is, though, at least she seems to be the most forthcoming person that we've listened to on this side of in the group, right?
Did you believe that they were led by the Spirit?
At the time, yes.
Okay.
I'm not saying that what she believed was okay. I mean, it's still different.
You talked a little bit about a time when you were at Lori's house after a conference in St. George, and then everybody kind of went back to, there was another conference, and everybody kind of went back to Lori's house. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. And you were there that night?
Yes.
And were you ordained to the Church of the Firstborn on that night?
Mm.
I don't recall that happening that night.
Okay. Do you recall when that happened, the ordaining to the Church of the Firstborn?
I know it's done, but I don't remember when.
You don't remember when, but you know that it did happen?
Yes.
Okay. And on that night that Chad gave you a blessing in Lori's house, you indicated that the blessing said that you were a special person, that you were a special being, that you were going to do some amazing things in the future. Is that right? All those things are right?
Correct.
Was there anything specifically like personal to you other than, I mean, those were kind of generalized blessing type words, right?
I don't know if I would call that generalized. I believe that Chad was very good about giving blessings to give you lots of praise and make you feel very special, and make you feel very good about the person that you are. I don't quite recall anything else that was more personal than that on that blessing. If there was, I don't remember it.
Okay. You've heard other people get blessings, right?
Yes, plenty.
And this particular blessing, the way you described it, is a pretty generic or a pretty run-of-the-mill type blessing, right?
I would have to, in one way, disagree, and in another one, agree. Usually, when I receive a blessing, will be for either strength or a health blessing, and it would be more directed towards that the strength that I need to, whether it's to overcome the challenge that I am faced with.
It's very sneaky. That's why we stop and talk about it a lot. It's very sneaky.
Or to overcome the illness that I am experiencing at the time. So I don't feel that that blessing was as generic.
Maybe they cut people off. I don't know. I don't know what the repercussions were. Maybe there was a fear of leaving, but it doesn't sound like anybody was having regrets or second thoughts. Nobody was like, "Oh, this is weird. I'm leaving." It sounds like they all believed it until it hit a wall for them personally. It had to hit a personal wall for them. They did not leave or turn their belief systems until something happened.
To the other blessings that I have received from other members of the church.
And I guess on that note, did you specifically seek Chad out to get a blessing for either health or for some specific reason?
On that night or
Yeah.
any other time?
No, on that particular night.
Not on that particular night. No.
He
offered.
Yeah.
Oh, he offered to give you a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He asked me to come to Lori's house so that he could give me a blessing.
Okay. And did I think you indicated that he also gave Alex a blessing that night? Or
Not
no?
on that occasion.
That was a different occasion. Okay.
Correct.
On that specific night, do you recall him giving anybody else blessings?
No, only to me.
Okay. I guess that was pretty personal to you then, because if you were the only one getting a blessing.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. That's what Lori did the whole time.
We talked a little bit, or the prosecutor talked to you a little bit about having a lunch at Firebirds. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh.
And where is Firebirds?
In
Gilbert.
Gilbert, Arizona.
Okay. And what was the occasion? How far in time from the time that he came to Lori's house and gave you that blessing to when you met up with him at Firebirds?
Oh. I can't remember the specific date, but it was in 2019 that he came.
Okay. Was it a month later, 2 months later, 5 months later? Can you recall? That's just too much?
I don't recall when he came.
Okay. You did make quite a few, have quite a few text messages with Chad. Were you texting him fairly regularly, do you think?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. And you were basically texting him about what kinds of things? Mostly spiritual things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Asking him questions.
That time that he was at Firebirds and he wanted to give you some specific information, you said that he specifically didn't want Melanie Gibb to hear that. Is that right?
Him and Lori, for some reason, didn't want Melanie Gibb to hear what he was going to say to me.
Okay. And what exactly, tell me again, what exactly did he say to you about that he didn't want Melanie Gibb to hear?
He said he had information about who I was in my past lives.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
and did that resonate with you?
I was very curious about it.
Okay. And when he told you about it, that was a pretty personal thing for you, right?
Yes.
He specifically said that you had lived, you indicated that you lived on this particular earth 4 different times. Is that right?
That's what he said.
Okay. And on the second time is when he told you about the second time you were here on this earth, right?
He told me about all of them.
About all of them. But this one at Firebirds, he specifically told you about the second time, right? Or am I wrong? That's what I recall from your testimony.
At Firebirds, he said that he had information
So
in regards to who I was. And
he came to Gilbert. I got to take a second from these headphones, bro. He came to Gilbert, Arizona he was just hanging out from Idaho. And then they go to Firebirds for lunch. And you imagine, like, they're having this conversation in public. They're at lunch around other human beings. He goes, I want to meet with you, sweet Zulema, and I want to tell you about your past lives. Shut the frick up. Get 2-piece quicker than a hurry.
And about my past lives. And he said that since Lori and
I know.
Chad didn't want Melanie Gibb to hear it, I don't know why.
Listen,
That he
I
would
still love Firebirds. They just have ruined it for me in
give
that
me
way.
a call later. Then he called me, and then he related to me all of my past lives, and the second one including.
Oh, so he relayed to you all of your past lives.
Correct.
I see. But the only one he testified to was the second time.
Yeah, I think that I don't know how to describe that, but I think that that life was the one that was
That's
the
what I'm
most
saying.
shocking to say.
If you had picked that up,
I mean, you said that you were 14 years old, you were raped and murdered, and at the same time that Lori was your mother, and Lori was also murdered that time, right?
That's what Chad said. Yes.
All right.
and Lori's just sitting there like, I bear witness that this is true. Yeah, okay. Okay. That's effing nuts.
And did you pray about that, or think, or did you have some sort of spiritual experience related to that?
Good question.
No spiritual experience, but I did believe him.
You believe him?
Hey,
Were you confirmed
she's honest. Crazy.
by the Spirit, or it was just a belief in him the way he said it?
Oh, I
It
forgot.
was my belief.
Okay, so hold on. Let's slow it down. So this guy also must be LDS. He sounds like he's trying to depict the differences between LDS. He's trying to say, did you use LDS belief system to confirm this? Like, things of that nature. I keep forgetting that he's also LDS. So he's trying to make it sound like she left the church, I guess. I don't really know how to explain that.
In him.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to look at State's Exhibit 54 or Exhibit 54 that was admitted. How does this work?
How does this work? Yeah. I don't understand that. Oh man, no.
So this is part of State's Exhibit 54. Do you recall testifying about that?
Yes.
Okay. And it's just a sheet of paper that you turned over to the police or the prosecutor. Is that right?
Yes.
Which one? Was it the police or was it the prosecutor? I don't remember. I don't know.
Isn't he
I
amazing?
believe it's prosecutor.
Okay.
I think that's what it was.
You're not allowed to look at them and ask you for clarification. If you don't remember, you don't remember.
I gave all of this stuff when they came to talk to me in Arizona. So I'm not exactly sure whether I should say police so I guess I don't know.
Okay. And when was that?
I don't remember when they came. I'm sorry.
Okay. And are you the one who drew this? Is this your handwriting?
That is my handwriting.
And you drew all of the things on the paper that you can see on the paper?
Yes.
Okay. And did you draw this during the interview with the police? Or was this drawn some other time?
I don't remember.
Okay. And that's a fair statement. Do you know why you drew it?
No, I don't.
Okay. I'm now going to show you page 1 of the large packet of Exhibit 54. Can you identify that?
Yes.
And did you draw that yourself?
Yes.
Is that on the back of a receipt or something, or is that in a journal? What is that?
This is my journal.
Okay. Did you ever? I think there was some testimony about you having some information on the back of a receipt. Was any of that in any of the stuff that you looked at today?
No.
Okay. And this was drawn in your journal?
Yes.
Do you know what day it was drawn?
No.
Okay. Do you recall about when it was drawn?
This was drawn around the time that Lori and Chad started to teach us about the different levels that people had. So I'm going to say probably February, March of 2019. around
Okay.
there.
And this was in one of your journals. And would this be something that you took with you while you were talking with Chad and Lori or other people?
Yes,
So you would have done this contemporaneously or at the same time, around the same time as you were discussing the levels and other matters with Chad and Lori. Is that right?
yes.
But you don't specifically recall when you did this particular one.
No, I wouldn't know specifically the date, but it would have been around that time when they were teaching this.
Okay. All right. And would that have been one of the days when Chad was down in Arizona, or would that have been sometime where you?
Okay, hold on. It's Brandon. Let's stop this for a second. Over on Timber and Wings Media Company, we have hit 10K. Okay, an incredible thing, man. Incredible part of the community. We have a whole nother community starting over there with Brandon and I. It's that time. It's that time. You guys are getting a very special video. Very special video. We promised you, and I promise you, we're also delivering. Call us the pizza man, baby. Call us UPS because we on it. We're delivering.
Learned at some other place.
It could have been
Yes,
either one of them.
guys. I hope you guys go over and subscribe to Timber and Wings Media Co. because that video is coming, baby. It's coming. Thank you guys, man. You guys are amazing.
So this is specifically a page that was talked about with regards to the words cast out. Do you recall testifying about that?
Yes.
Okay. And when you testified about that, tell me a little bit about this page, when it was written, or what was going through your mind when you were writing it. Do you have any recollection of that?
This was done around the time when we were doing castings on Charles. So it has been
Appreciate you guys.
between March and July of 2019. And these were just steps that could be followed to cast out an evil spirit.
Okay. Let's just take it from the top. It's the first one says, what does it say? What's the very top say? Order?
I believe that I was trying to write order of the priesthood.
Okay. And so that's part of the prayer you say in the order of the priesthood or something to that effect?
Correct.
Okay. And then number 2, what was that? Dispel. What does that mean?
Dispel or encapsulate.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm not exactly sure what you meant.
Oh, everyone's getting
Right.
it.
I'm sure it made sense to me then, but no, I don't recall what he meant.
Okay. Then the next thing says cast out. Right?
Mhm.
What does that mean?
Casting out, like ordering it to leave the body,
Ordering the spirit to leave the body.
Mhm. The evil spirit or demon.
Okay. All right.
Leave. Mhm.
What about number 5, burn?
Burn would be if we wanted to make sure that there was no option for another evil spirit or another demon to come in within that 2-minute window that they were saying that another demon could come and take over. So, but if we burned around the body, then there wouldn't be that opportunity.
Okay. So when you say that there's a 2-minute window, is that a literal 2-minute window?
Yeah, that's what Lori and Chad would say. Yes.
Okay. And you believe that?
At the time, yes.
Okay.
Now I don't.
Now you think there's a larger window?
Now I don't believe anything that they said. I believe that they made it all up.
So you don't believe that demons can be cast out of humans?
I don't believe that the way that anything that they did was right or correct. No.
Okay.
Do I believe that an evil spirit can be cast out?
Yes.
Yes,
That was-
because it was done in the Bible, and Jesus Christ did do it.
Okay.
But I believe that was completely different than what they were trying to do.
Okay. So people can be cast, or evil spirits can be cast out, but just not by Chad and Lori, in your opinion.
I just don't believe that
Yeah.
Chad, Lori, would have the authority to do that, nor the right intentions.
Okay. So you don't believe that they had the authority to cast out, and you don't believe that they had the intention to cast out the evil spirits. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. And when you say burn, and we talked a little bit about that, where you would burn for 2 minutes around the body of the possessed
100%.
person or demonic person. Is that right?
The greatest
Objection, this
moment
states what
ever.
the witness said.
Okay.
That's sustained.
Okay. Tell me what you would do. Tell me what burn, number 5, burn means.
I believe the way that I explained it was that we would burn the around the body and the body so that not another demon wouldn't be able to come into the same body.
Okay. And tell me how that happened.
I'm going to object at this point. It's been asked and answered a couple of times.
Well, it's overruled.
Tell me how you would burn around somebody's body or burn somebody's body spiritually, or how in this particular context.
Well, everything was done during a casting would be done spiritually, verbally.
Okay. So how do you verbally burn somebody?
I guess you just verbally describe it.
Welcome, Lauren.
Verbally describe what?
How you would
When-
verbally describe burning the body.
Okay. But it had nothing to do with physical burning.
Correct.
Okay. And then the next one is number 6.
Escorted.
Oh, okay. Escorted and sealed. Tell me a little bit about
I
that.
agree with you.
In this part, Laurie and Chad were saying that if we had angels come up and they would escort the evil spirit or the demon that had just been cast out, then he would be escorted out of the body. And then if you look at number 7, then they will be sealed away and not be able to come back and bother anyone else.
I'm sorry.
How do you believe any of this?
That was an and, but that was actually a 7. So the 7th step is to seal. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. And how do you seal somebody? How do you seal it?
The same way, verbally, you just say sealed away so that it doesn't come back.
Sealed away from that specific person.
Not from just this specific person, but from coming back to bother anyone else.
So he can't come back to the earth.
Correct.
Okay. And then under that, it says dispel. Is that right?
Yes.
And then what does it say next to dispel? It's not you. I'm a terrible reader. What does that say?
Banish.
Banish. Okay. So you banish the person or the spirit. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And that's just done verbally. You just say you're banished.
Correct.
Okay. And then expel, reject, eject, purge. And then what's the last one after purge?
Evict.
Evict. Okay. And those are just all things that are kind of under dispel and banish.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like synonyms.
And then it looks like there is a figure. There's some sort of a little drawing on the side of dispel and all the way down to purge. Can you tell me a little bit about what that is?
I'm not sure what that is.
Okay. And then under that, it says after evict, it says cast out, get rid of them, right?
Correct.
That's the goal, or what is that?
Yeah, that would have been the goal, to get rid of them.
And then what does it say under that? Get rid of them.
Forced to leave by official action.
That's what's really interesting is that he's trying to distance Lori from this. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to make it sound like this wasn't really their belief system and that it was somehow Zulema's fault, Melanie Gibbs' fault, it's everybody else's fault.
Take away the right of being there. Drive out,
Agreed.
as in excommunicated and blasted. And after that, it says Matthew 8:16.
And what is Matthew 8:16?
It's a scripture
It's a scripture in the Bible or in the
in
Book
the
of
Bible
Mormon?
and the New Testament.
Okay.
And
And
then
I'm sorry. Can I ask what that scripture says? Do you recall, or do you know?
part of it says cast out with his word.
Okay. And then what else after cast out with his word?
Matthew
another-
10:1.
Okay. And what does it say in Matthew 10:1? Do you recall?
He gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them.
And so the things that you were doing, you were writing these things down as you were being taught or as you were congregating with this core group of people, right, that were doing these casting out of demons.
Correct.
And that was biblically based or based on scripture.
I think that it was some scripture mixed with their own philosophies.
Okay. Tell me a little about their philosophies. when in this particular context of casting out demons, tell me what their philosophies were.
Well, if you read in the New Testament, there will be
Ain't nothing that they're talking about is Bible lore.
Jesus
None.
telling the spirit to leave, but there was never any burning or ejecting or dispelling or being or having to be escorted or sealed. So
Yeah, none of that exists. Exactly. None of it exists. It's he just had the authority over it, and through his authority, that's what you would get that authority to do. And nothing you have said has any biblical basis of burn all that crazy
there
stuff.
was a small part that was scriptural, and then the other part was their own philosophies.
There you go.
Gotcha. But during this entire time, when you were doing these casting out of evil and demonic beings, you never did this physically. It was all done with prayer and spiritually, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'll give the bailiff or marshal the 54 again.
I think it's about to end, man.
Judge, I don't know if you want me just to go until 3:30 and cut me off, or I'd rather not go into another line, but
If you are about to go into another line, I'd suggest maybe we leave each as signed.
Yeah, this is another hour long. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna hit it hard next week. I don't think I have another hour in me to listen to this right now. First of all, I had a really good time with you guys, even though this is hard stuff. You guys really helped lighten the mood. Thank you for that. Thank you for just being here, man. You guys have made a beautiful community together. I do want to say thank you for everyone who's subscribed to Timber and Wings. It means a lot to us. We are working really hard behind the scenes to bring you guys a bunch of really good stuff. And, you know, we really care together. Brandon and I both really care about everything. So with all that being said, if you guys are members, for all of our chiefs, I will go in and post the Discord link and get that done. With that being said, everyone, I hope you have a great 4th of July. I'll probably reach out just to say hi tomorrow and see how you guys are doing with your holiday. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Again, starting this next week. We're really on a countdown, so we might have to have some longer days if you're okay with that. If you got the longer days, let's knock out some big stuff. I'm going to go through that feed and make sure that I know where we need to go next. And then we're going to start Chads as fast as can. So next live should be Saturday, Brandon. So I'll be back Saturday. And then probably going to next week, we might hit it almost every day. And just because we got a lot to get through. And I want to be able to spin. I don't want to feel rushed, but I do feel like I want to be done by sentencing. Just to get it out of the way for myself. And I also want to give you guys good perspective. So hope you guys have an amazing 4th of July. I appreciate you, love you, and I'll see you guys on Saturday, and I'll reach out tomorrow and see how you guys are doing. For all my chiefs, I'm going to post in the Discord, and I'll keep you guys up to date on the community tab. Hope you guys have a great day and love you guys.